Today's topic is going to be probably a very hard one for me to talk about because it deals with one of the darkest, deepest problems I've had to overcome and continue to fight every day. This is not a cooking or baking video. What it actually is me discussing a little bit about what depression looks like for me and what my obsessive compulsive disorder looks like as well. You see that I am in my kitchen and I am pulling out all kinds of things to get stuff ready to cook and bake for my husband's birthday party. I wanted to make him all of his favorite things, and one of those was oatmeal cookies. Keep in mind, I have not made oatmeal cookies in many, many years, but they needed to be perfect, so I wanted to follow exactly how it needed to be done to a T so they would be perfect for my husband. This is a huge task for me. I can't just simply pull out a recipe and pull out ingredients one at a time and measure, dump. I can't do that. What happens to me is when I go to bake or cook, I need to have all of the ingredients pre-measured into smaller containers so that when it comes time to put them in, I don't get confused and I don't get overwhelmed and think maybe I had forgotten a ingredient. I didn't used to be this way. I was able to easily look at a recipe and make it without thought and know and feel confident that I did the right thing and put the right thing in. But that no longer is the case. So, why did I say that this is about depression? Well, this system has come about after the depression that I have just recently crawled out from the darkest parts of. And this process I've learned to help me get back into cooking and baking, because with depression, for some it causes you to have a loss of appetite, and for others it causes you to increase appetite. For me, I don't have much of an appetite as it is, but when depression hits me, I lose all appetite. And I have no energy to make myself anything. I have no energy to, I know this is going to sound strange, but to even eat it. The thought process of just going to my kitchen and trying to figure out something to eat is extremely overwhelming and exhausting when it comes to figuring that out. Depression is kind of funny that way. Depression can take a hold of you in ways that you don't see. And for me, being in the kitchen was something that I used to love to do. My kids grew up with their mother constantly cooking and baking for them, and to this day they will tell you that that was one thing that they always enjoyed and still enjoy, is mom's cooking. But I lost all desire and passion to do that. I used to enjoy doing things in the kitchen and making for my husband and for my children, but that was lost a long time ago. I don't think I cooked a meal for 3 years, I think. maybe a handful in there, but that didn't happen very often. My children were both in the military, and I had aspirations to making boxes, care packages, and sending them to them. And I started to. I made all different kinds of goodies and put them in there, and they shared them with their shipmates and enjoyed those coming in. But that was before life got even darker, and I was able to at least still focus and do that. But I lost it, and unfortunately my children no longer got those care packages because it was too much work put into it to make them and to think about making them. So they fell by the wayside. And when I look back at it, that's very sad that those didn't go out anymore, because they were something that I enjoyed doing, and I wanted to do those for my kids. But unfortunately I couldn't, and all that desire wasn't strong enough to push through the depression. And so unfortunately my kids no longer were able to enjoy that. I look back and it's a really sad thing. But I'm learning to adapt and to come back into the kitchen and enjoy it once again. I'm starting to slowly integrate making meals and things and creating things I hadn't done before, and I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit again. But this is the process I had to do. I had to go through and create, as I did for shopping, I have to do it for cooking and baking as well. I have to create something in order to get through each step, or I'll fold and I will just quit in the middle of it because I can't focus and I can't be on task because I can't remember if I added one thing or another, or even if I do remember, overthink it and think that maybe I didn't do it, but I knew I did do it, but yet my mind plays a game with me and tells me that maybe you didn't. And so this helps me to know what I've added, what I still have to add, and it helps me get from point A to point B and point C. So yeah, this is a task that I am starting to emerge into doing again and finding a little bit of joy. And when I had my family home for the weekend, I did find great joy making food for my children and their spouses and my grandsons, and that was nice. It was a wonderful thing to be able to not just be making food for my husband, but to have my entire family sitting around the table and enjoying a meal that my husband and I created for them. It was a special moment for me. I sat there and I looked around the table and I recognized that feeling that was there at one point. There was a little bit of it in there again, with knowing I made something that each and every one of my family members at the table thoroughly enjoyed, and that made me smile. This video dealt with depression, and a little bit of the OCD is in there because I'm a little bit obsessive trying to get things in order just a certain way in order to have it work. But I'm not stressing over cooking anymore, and I'm not worrying as much as what I used to. I still stress some, but I don't cook as much as I used to either. I'm slowly easing back into it. But it's the small things that I am finding that I need to stand up and be proud about, and this is one of them, that I'm continuing to make that climb and going from dark to light. So thanks for taking the time and spending with me, and I hope that you find this a little bit of help to you or to someone that you might know who suffers from mental illness, to help give you a little bit of understanding of what they possibly might face and go through. If you have anything you'd like to say, questions or concerns, please don't forget to comment below and let me know. I'll try to answer them the best I can. But thank you again, and I will talk to you soon.